Hi, I'm Norma Shephard, Director of the Mobile Millinery Museum. We're Canada's Hat Museum. We're a traveling archive, and we've been traveling for over 20 years now, presenting retrospective millinery fashion shows to groups large and small, doing installations and exhibits at other museums, and we love to do it. Talking to audiences is one of my favorite things, and one of the things that a lot of people tell me is that they lament that, hats fell out of fashion and nobody's wearing them. Well, nobody more than me would love to see hats come back. But unfortunately, they're sort of coming back, but one color at a time. Of course, we know that the red hat ladies have been instrumental in bringing back red hats. And hey, that's a great start. And that's actually what I'm going to talk about today. But I should also mention that many branches of the Women's Institute have started wearing hats of blue and gold because of those are the Institute traditional colors. But today, again, it's red hats. And what a lot of red hatters don't know, and I've shared with at audiences, is that you couldn't always find a red hat because the prevailing notion was if you were wearing a red hat, maybe you weren't wearing any knickers. So this first hat I want to show you is a reproduction. This is a reproduction bonnet that I bought some years ago from Chapeaux at Niagara-on-the-Lake. And they were doing these styles because Niagara-on-the-Lake is a Shaw festival town, lots of wonderful plays, and something they were doing that year this was representative of. So they were selling a few of these in the hat shop. I think, yep, I do have, it does have the Beau Chapeau label. Yeah, so it's nice. It's great for, a recreation of costume from that period. But typically you would not find a bonnet from this representative period in red. As I said before, red hat, maybe no knickers. Anyway, red hats are back and they're quite enjoyable. This one is from my personal collection. This is a wonderful little, very beautiful spring chapeau of braided straw with some vintage millinery trims, little pink, and probably not, I'm not sure if the camera's picking up the true color, but yeah, it's a soft pink coloration, and then with the yellow centers. Done on a hairband, sits very nicely and securely. This is the back, and you can see the little stems of the flowers peeking out behind. This is by Maria Kursic. This video is by no means sponsored, but she is sort of a go-to milliner for me when I'm doing my vintage hat fashion shows. I like her aesthetic. They're quite cheery, beautiful hats, and they don't move when I'm wearing them. And so I do like to promote her work. I've done a video, and I will link to it in the description, on who I consider the top Canadian millinery designers of the 20th century. So either they were born in the 20th century or they were designing and making hats in the 20th century. So as I say, I'll link to that. But I want to show you a few more cute little favorites, very red. And again, these are more modern, I would say, from 1940s onward. Previously, red hats were considered very, very, very out there, maybe a little garish. This one, this came from another vintage archive, and they have identified this as being from 1950. The label is Henry Morgan and Company Limited. Henry Morgan, that was a Canadian department store. This hat has these little, almost like the chenille pipe cleaner stems to keep this on your head. It looks rather, I am very Mary Poppins-ish. This would sit flat on the head, and you can see every hat tells a story. This tells a story of former glory, some veiling remnants are just hanging there. So this was probably very well loved. And you notice that that veiling was sort of an ecru color. Can't imagine red veiling on a hat. There is a double brim. The upper brim is velvet and it sits on the straw form. A nice little hat. I call these a Lucy hat. I think of the old I Love Lucy series with Lucy and Ethel getting up to all kinds of mischief in wonderful fashions and little hats like that. Now another one, I would say, yeah, I would have said 1950s, and this is how they have identified it as well. It's another Henry Morgan and Company. This is the inside. There is no lining. A wonderful lightweight straw and very prettily done. And you can see that this would have been a cocktail hat. The rhinestones add a bit of sparkle. Picture this perched on a blonde who's holding cigarette holder, probably maybe a martini. Very simple little hat. It's a variation on the pillbox, a very shallow little pillbox, and might have required a little bit of pinning. There's some wire in this as well to keep the shape. Now this one I'm going to show you, they have identified as 1960, and I would have as well. So of course you get into the 1960s and the hemlines are getting shorter, the crown of the hat is getting taller. The shorter the hemline, the higher the hat needs to be, and it's a little bolder. It's very sort of mod, a wonderful lacquered straw that's just picks up the light, certainly with my light ring. The band is red velvet, so matching with the bow. Upturned brim, which would make, this is a Breton style, and no maker's label, but there you have it. So just a few red hats to tempt those red hat ladies. If you're interested in more hat chat, millinery marvels, etc., hit like, subscribe, let me know in the comments if there's a particular era or any questions you have about millinery, and I would be happy to address them. In the meantime, oh, can't leave before I tell you about the hat I'm wearing. I do promise to do that. This is a wonderful little pink straw. It's probably a factory made hat. The label is Planet. It's lightweight, it doesn't move. It is a Mad Hatter style, and I believe it's from circa 2005. This was a birthday gift to me from a friend. So I hope you're all having a hatty day. See you again.